This story is a classic. This is one of the videos that was stolen from the channel. My wife and I were married for 15 years before she decided to go on vacation with her girlfriends. Her vacation made her a single woman. We never had any issues in our marriage. At least I didn't think we did. We always traveled together and we made sure we took time off work at the same time so we could go on vacations together. It was tough doing that because she worked for a law firm and I worked for a computer company. We met many years ago at a seminar, and it was almost love at first sight. We were always happy together. We attended church every Sunday. Just because someone goes to church doesn't mean they won't cheat. We had dinner parties with our friends and went to movies and parks. I even surprised her with picnics every so often. She went with her girlfriends this time because I couldn't get off work. I didn't have any vacation days I could use, and if I did, I would have to come back much earlier than she would. But when she came back from her vacation, she seemed a little different. She wasn't her normal cuddly, affectionate self. She was distant and barely talked to me. I couldn't figure out what had changed in her so suddenly. I was very attentive all the time, and I asked her what was wrong, but she just wouldn't respond. I tried everything to make her happy again, from taking her on a romantic getaway to buying her expensive gifts, but nothing worked. One day on my lunch break, I had the inclination to call one of my wife's friends and ask her if anything happened on the vacation. Her friend said no, nothing happened that she knew of. I interrupted and said, well, something must have happened because she hasn't been the same since she returned. She told me to reach out to the other ladies. There were 4 of them that went on vacation together. But when I did that, no one had any answers for me. I was left thinking, what the hell happened? Did she get some bad news or something while she was on vacation? I was so confused and frustrated. When I got home from work, she was already home. So I asked her why she was so distant. And of course, she said nothing was wrong, and I felt I was being a bit paranoid. Fast forward a week, and nothing has really changed, and we haven't had sex since she returned. That's never happened before. I was at a loss as to what to do. My wife wasn't telling me, and her friends were not telling me anything. Of course, those women are not going to say anything. That sisterhood is strong sometimes. So, as time progresses, her attitude towards me starts to deteriorate. For what reason? I don't know. That led me to believe that something wasn't right. Either no one really didn't know, or they were all hiding something. We attended a party that was sponsored by the law firm she worked at, and I noticed her talking to one of the partners at the firm. They glanced my way a few times while they were talking, which made me uncomfortable. So I decided to pry into what was going on. When we got home, I confronted her and asked if she had been cheating on me during her vacation. She yelled at me and asked me why I thought she was cheating with a bunch of women. Well, I said, you haven't talked to me much since your return, and you seem to be so happy chatting with your friends and coworkers. She then tells me she has been preoccupied with things at work and a little stressed from some of the work she has. But I interrupted and said, you were on vacation. Then she says, well, not really. My boss called me a few times and wanted some information about some cases. After she told me that, I kind of felt she was lying, which did not make sense to me. Yeah, most people that go on vacation, not take their work with them. I felt a law firm had other people in place to get that information. But I was soon to find out why she was distant. One of her friend's husbands sent me a text on the way home from work and asked if we could talk. Now, keep in mind that out of the 3 other women she went with, I only knew 2 of them. So we agreed to meet at a bar, and he came right out and told me. He explained to me that he heard his wife talking to one of the other ladies on the phone, and they were talking about my wife. Apparently, my wife's boss also went on vacation with them. He didn't go when they went. He showed up a couple of days later, and to top it off, they shared the same room. I was in absolute shock. My wife and her boss had been fooling around for at least 6 months or more. I sat there in a daze. Then he said, no one was going to tell you. I looked at him and said, are you kidding? He said, nope, I'm not. Boy, let me tell you, that sisterhood is strong. He told me they wanted to keep it a secret, and he just happened to be home that day and overheard the conversation. He said it made him suspicious when his wife went into another room to make a phone call, which he thought was odd. He said he was quiet enough to walk up to the door and listen to what she said. After that, I drove home angry and in a daze. Now I see why she was distant. When I walked in the door, she was in the living room. I didn't even greet her when I got home. I went straight upstairs and didn't say anything. I took a shower and went to bed. She came up about an hour later and asked me if everything was okay. I told her, no, everything is not okay. I found out this evening that you have been cheating on me and you have effectively ended our marriage. I looked at her and said, I will be calling some lawyers tomorrow, and I suggest you do the same. Then she starts bawling, saying she was sorry. She made a mistake. I told her to save it. I went off on her. I told her if you were unhappy, we could have talked about it, gone to counseling or something. But you decided to go on vacation, knowing I couldn't go to sleep with another man. After that, I got up and went into the guest bedroom, and she was following me. She was trying to hug me. I pushed her away from me and told her to stay away from me. Well, in this case, he didn't really need to do anything. Another man came to his rescue. But I wonder what happened between him and his lady. That night, my whole world changed. The next day, I called my boss and told him I needed a few days, and I told him why. He was sorry to hear what happened and told me to take as much time as I needed. So, fast forward a month, and I have moved out of the house. We didn't own it. We were in the market to buy a house after selling ours a few years ago, but never found another one to our liking. I have since hired a lawyer. He has also filed for divorce on my behalf. Oh, I forgot to add, she has one son from her previous relationship who lives on his own. This is her second marriage. I am 48 and she is 49. I haven't talked to my soon-to-be ex-wife at all. She has sent me text messages saying she misses me, give her a second chance, etc. Fast forward a week and I get a call from her son, and he tells me that he heard we were divorcing. I was honest with him and told him what happened. What he told me next was a surprise. He found out his biological father left his mother because she cheated in the marriage. I told her son we can keep in touch and even hang out if he wants, and he was welcome to visit whenever he came to town. Fast forward a month, and at the divorce hearing, my soon-to-be ex-wife walks up to me and asks me for one more chance. She said she would give up her privacy. Can we do marriage counseling? Anything? I said, no, I wouldn't be able to trust you. She walked away into the courtroom. The divorce hearing took about an hour. She walked away with most of the furniture, which I didn't want, and she was able to keep one of the cars we had. 2 weeks later, I found out my ex-wife's boss is getting divorced. His wife found out he was cheating with his so-called executive secretary and is taking him to the cleaners. From what I've heard, the disgusting thing is, while she is seeing this man, she is still trying to get back together with me. I will try to send Tony an update, but I don't think I need to. We are divorced, and my ex-wife is still working at the law firm with her boss. Well, I'm not going to say he simped. He was trying to find out why his wife was distant when she came back from her vacation, and he tried to do things to reignite their relationship, but she wasn't having it. When he found out, he stood his ground and divorced her. Sometimes the best way, rip the Band-Aid off and start the healing process. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.